everybody. Okay, today I wanna talk about a movie I saw yesterday, a slasher movie-esque paranormal movie, The Ghostkeeper from 1981, directed by some guy, Steve Matichek. Don't know what he did. You've got Jenny, Marty, and Chrissy, who are stranded with their snow plowers, the snow race machines, what they call snow bikes, and they find the Deer Lodge, a hotel, the deserted hotel. And the funny part is that, oh, it's nice and warm here, the floor level, but it isn't, because you see Marty's, when he's talking, you can clearly see the vapors coming out of his mouth from how cold it is. Then you have a woman, an older woman there, who almost kills Marty, but everybody, Jenny and Chrissy, run to her. He says there's an old lady here. Eventually they get to meet, and she says, "Who are you? You should go." And they say, "No, we don't have. There's a blizzard outside, and our snow bikes don't work. We're here. We're out of here the first thing in the morning." And then you have. She says, "Are you?" Like Chrissy says, "Are you alone here?" "Just me and my boy, Danny." Okay, and something else. Now, this is a spoiler, so for people who never seen this, what happens is, okay, Marty is an asshole. He's constantly flirting with Chrissy. He's together with Jenny, and you know what he says at some point? "Are you in charge of my body? Are you in charge of my comes and goings? So if I want to fuck somebody, I fuck somebody. That's not being in a relationship, you piece of shit." So I really wanted him to die. Personally, I really wanted him to die, and he doesn't die. He should have died harder. Now, Chrissy goes to take a bath. She gets drowned by Danny, well, I'm calling her the Ghost Keeper because she has no name, woman. And Danny brings her to this igloo kind of cave, igloo ice blocks. He opens the door, and what you got there is the Wendigo. Now, personally, a Wendigo, I know, has like antlers, a sort of a moose's skull on his face, his furry body, with claws on his hand and hooves on his feet. This was just a guy with a furry jacket, and he had all these lacerations in his face, and it looks like he had black eyes and then black hair covering everything. He looked like a fucking hermit. Nothing, anything like the Wendigo. And he, likes to eat women for some reason, only women. So he cuts Chrissy's throat, and there she gives it. He gives it to the Wendigo, and he takes the girl and eats her. Now, at this point, Marty is trying to get the fuck out, but somebody messed with their snow machines, and Jenny is upstairs in the deer lodge, and she gets she drinks tea with the ghostkeeper, but she puts something in her tea, so she falls asleep. When she's awake, she is put on the front of the door of the Wendigo, and then you see Danny with a chainsaw trying to kill her, and she can run away from him. And eventually, she's on the rooftops, and he sees her, and she pulls him out of the window on spikes, and he's impaled. So, and the ghostkeeper lady sees that, and she's like screaming, but you can't see her scream, just doing like this. And then Marty does something weird. He says, "You killed the guy." He's a lawyer, apparently. He thinks his wife just killed the guy just for pleasure, but it was clearly self-defense. And he's completely cuckoo. Like Rambo puts grease over his face, and then he's gonna walk to the lodge where they came from, and constantly she's trying to hold him and wait for me, and he's pushing her aside, get off me, and he's such an asshole. Even when he just became crazy, basically. And also something that's, like The Shining, when you have the black guy coming back from Florida, all the way from Florida to, where was the hotel? What's the hotel's name from The Shining? In any case, he comes to, the Rocky Mountains. He comes there, he opens the door, hello, and he gets immediately a chest to the heart. Same with this guy. He says hello, and he gets 10 knife stabs from the ghostkeeper in his body. He had a gun too, and he was so useless. Useless skill, useless. Why put him in there? I don't know. Probably to up the gore a little bit, up the body count a little bit, because you only had 3 people in there, and then the ghostkeeper and Danny and the Wendigo, and the Wendigo is not gonna die, and the ghostkeeper and Danny, yeah, they can die, because at some point Jenny finds a shotgun, and she sees the ghostkeeper coming at her, and she's trying to convince her that she's her mom, and she's almost convinced, and she blasts a hole in her body when she wanted to attack her with a knife. Now, at this point, I think Jenny, the ghostkeeper's spirit came into her. So basically, she becomes the new ghostkeeper, goes to the Wendigo's place, and she says, "I'm gonna take care of you now." Okay? And she also finds Marty against a tree, frozen to death, and it says, "You shouldn't be nice to Jenny. You shouldn't be a dickhead to Jenny. You deserve this." And then she goes away, and she's completely cuckoo, and she's basically, like I said, the new ghostkeeper. Now, some fun facts of this movie is apparently the director money was gone halfway through the movie, and that's the reason why he wanted more of the Wendigo at the second part, so that the Wendigo came out and feed and search for food, but he couldn't afford it. So he sort of kept the Wendigo stay in his igloo, and you see he just made the movie what comes in his mind, and he came up with this idea that the ghostkeeper lady is old and wants to transfer her spirit to her body, but she has to be killed first, and that's how the ending happens. So she's now the head of the Deer Lodge. And then you see, no, there's an extended scene, but you can't find it ever anywhere, where 3 years later a black kid is playing with a snowman, and you see him impaled by a tree spear. So that was a little bit too much, probably. And Paul Zaza was on this, was a soundtrack guy. Paul Zaza is known for doing TV series, horror thrillers, horror movies, for especially early 80s horror movies like Prom Night. He did all the Prom Nights. He did Curtains. He did My Bloody Valentine. And he did this movie. He did a lot of horror movies, Paul Zaza. Yeah, the soundtrack. So they got one known, because all these actors, I just didn't took the time to write down their real names, because I never heard of them. And I looked them up. Nothing. Especially when you see a name and you don't see a picture, then you know this person didn't do anything after this. So, is this a good movie? Well, you've got a very atmospheric, creepy hotel, dim lit, and that makes the hotel creepy. There is another guy that they don't know, they don't seen him yet, Danny, who is basically a maniac and kills men and women, but mainly women, because he wants to feed them to the Wendigo. And it has its moments. It's a creepy movie, but you don't have a high body count. You don't have a high body count. The acting wasn't bad. No, acting wasn't bad. But you just don't have a high body count. And it takes a while before somebody dies. Not half the movie, but like 30 minutes in. So, but after that, like I said, like how many people die? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 people, 5 people die. 5 people die. Jenny is the only one who survives and becomes a new ghostkeeper, and the Wendigo survives, of course. So yeah. So, would I recommend this movie to see? Yes, I would. It's a slasher movie, slasher paranormal movie with the Wendigo, or a version of the Wendigo, and you got some bloody scenes. It's an okay movie. It's an okay movie to watch, especially for the atmosphere. The atmosphere in a creepy hotel that gets to you. Every corner somebody can be there. That's really creepy. So yeah, watch it and give it a try. See you next time.